I can't look back, it's too late now. My days are hours and I don't know how, but I believe the great is still yet to come. I won't stop fighting, man, until I'm done.
Good morning and welcome to the 59th Breakfast Ball. And today is actually, although the show doesn't come out till Monday, it is technically Valentine's Day today. So happy Valentine's Day to you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
There you go. So everybody out there is celebrating or not celebrating, because it's a made-up holiday anyway. Right? So it's a Hallmark holiday. Anyway, I am your host, Bob Cartier. To my left, to your right, as always, or as most days, the dashing Richie Stoltz. So today, I was on a Jim Rohn kick today. You know Jim Rohn?
No.
He's an older professional motivational speaker. I believe he's passed by now, but he had some. Actually, I'm sure he's passed by now, but he had some great stuff. And I was talking to one of the guys, and then I saw his quote. So I was looking through some of his stuff, and it resonated so much with golf and with life. I figured I'd go over it with you today. The quote of the day is, you can have more than you have because you can basically be more than you can be. You have the capability of being more than you are, and so you can have more than you have. That's the net effect of the quote. So I had a player, and always remain nameless when you do these, right? He was complaining about lack of progress. So I said, well, what's going on? He said, well, the winter this year has been awful, which
It has.
it has, right?
It has.
And then he said, I don't have any time. Okay. He said, I'm going through all this personal stuff. Okay. All right. And for those of you who know, and we discussed it last week, life a little bit of chaos. Unfortunately, my mother passed away 2 weeks ago, and still dealing with a lot of the stuff, just all over on that. So I feel what he was saying. I do. Business has been not that great for us in golf because the weather's bad and got all kinds of personal stuff. But two questions for the dashing Richie Stoltz. Does spring always follow winter?
I think so.
Yes. With amazing consistency. For the past, 6,000 years or so, right? And then, does morning always follow night?
I don't know. Isn't it like dark in that one country somewhere for like 30 days in a row or something like that?
It's in Alaska.
Alaska, that's it. It's in Alaska.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Metaphorically, sir. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I'm
ruining the vibe.
I know. No, hey, man. I look, man. That's why the suicide rate's high up there, by the way. That's actually a true story. All right, so meaning the dashing. So with any difficult times, there's going to be light. There's going to be chances for opportunity, and you need to seize upon that. So Rohn had this thing that he did with his mentor. So I'm going to do it with you today and discuss it a little bit. But Rohn's mentor said, "Okay, I would like you to make me a list of things that are holding me back." Now, his list had like the government, taxes are killing me, that kind of. So, if you were to give me a list of a few things of what you think is holding you back, what would that list consist of? Don't say
know.
me.
Well, I was actually going to have you grab my arm and say, Bob.
Yeah, exactly.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
You want a fresh one?
You threw me on the spot here. I don't know what's holding me back.
Well, I mean, I'll give you.
Give me an example.
So, lack of time.
Okay.
Yeah, I have lack of time.
No such thing.
And then correct, lack of time. I don't know, my personal life. It's not where I want it to be. Finances. So he went through, and then
my diet. I eat too much, guys.
Yeah. Yes.
I am a black hole.
Yes, Richie. Yes, we're eating after this actually. So yes, I refinanced the house to get Richie breakfast this morning. But that's funny because I was going through finances in the past 24, 48 hours. I was just noting expenditures. And it's interesting when you actually pay attention to what you eat. Holy smokes, it's crazy.
I'm with my grandmother right now, and they do not help the cause.
No, they eat well.
So they eat everything they eat's for the most part healthy,
Yeah,
but they know I eat a lot, so
they make a lot.
they make a lot, and then I eat the leftovers. But what they do
Yeah.
is my grandfather. I've never seen anyone eat butter like him.
He doesn't eat it raw, does he?
He will take a stick of butter and throw it on a.
Oh, okay. But isn't like
No, he does not eat it raw. No.
I love butter, but I couldn't do that.
But everything comes with butter, multiple pieces of bread.
Yeah, that's it. I love
Everything's
that too.
a little cake dessert afterwards. I'm like, I don't want none of this. Like, you got to get rid of it.
I know. You know, the funny thing
It's
is,
so tempting.
My grandmother, she worked, I guess, at a bakery when my dad was young, and he said just the smell of the stuff that used to come in the house was just so awesome. He's like, yeah, you get used to eating bread. I mean, let's folks, bread is awesome, right? I mean, like I love bread, but bread's a killer, man. You eat a lot of that white bread, and it's just gonna, yeah. I feel you, brother. Trust me. I'm trying to watch what I eat now. Oh, so good. So you got my point.
Yeah.
So we're going over the whole list, and he's like time, government, and the guy apparently sat and listened patiently to the entire thing that Roan had to say, and he said, "Well," he goes, "Great." He goes, "There's one problem with your list." And Roan's like, "What is it?" He's like, "You're not on it." Like, he blamed everything else, and that's basically what our guy was doing. He was blaming everything else in the world, but not taking accountability for himself. So he said, "Okay, well," he goes, "make a list of your goals, or no, show me the list of your goals." He said, "Right, show us." So Rum's like, "Well, I don't have it," and the guy's like, "What is it in your car? Where is it?" He's like, "Well, I don't know. I don't have a list." He's like, "Well, there's a difference," and this is all right out of Roan stuff, which I love, and it applies to golf and it applies to life. You can, like two people working for the same company. Let's say Joe Schmo makes $1,000 and Johnny X makes $2,000. They both live in the same rough area. They have the same commute to work basically, and everything's almost the same. But one guy makes the list of where he wants to be, and he sticks to it, and he follows it, reads as many books as he can. Basically, is what my father always told me, is if you want to succeed in this life, make sure that you're valuable, right? How many players have we had who just show up and they show up and they're expecting greatness, but they don't want to put the effort into being great?
Too many.
Yeah, too many.
Too many.
Yeah, it's and we've even had
And it's great when you get the opposite.
Yes.
Like I can name on the team right now, although I'm not going to.
Mhm.
But you can see the opposite as well, and it's and you see the improvement when you
Yeah.
get a player like that.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
And it's great. And I think sometimes the guys that they don't put in the work. Like, you know what? I'm going to use Brandon Wands here for an example.
Oh, the
'cause
magic wands.
we know we love him.
Yeah.
Someone looking at him from afar, seeing who he was golfer-wise to who he turned into,
Yeah.
would be like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why don't I see this improvement? Blah, 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 blah. But sometimes what you don't see is what the person does, I guess behind the curtains.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Brandon Wands was definitely a behind the curtains kind of guy.
Yep.
Where he was sitting there and he was grinding, and he had his goals. He wanted to play on the team, and he made sure those goals got achieved.
Yes, he did.
And I think sometimes people get, I guess you can say, jealous of people like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how could this guy do it, but I can't? Well, it's because you're not seeing what he does.
I think of 3 very specific team members who, when Brandon became a starter, were like, "You can't be serious. You can't start this kid." Because Brandon worked his way up. His golf swing was slightly unconventional.
Mhm.
It was something he wouldn't really teach, but he just hit so many golf balls. It worked on so many that.
Which I don't necessarily recommend that.
No, he lived it, but he ended up in the mid to high 70s, and that was enough to secure the 5 spot at that time. And guys with way better athleticism, IQ, even etiquette, like knew exactly what you're supposed to do, but weren't scoring lower than him. So, like I always say, when you play for me, I said I don't even have to like you, and I like Brandon, but I don't have to like you. If you can score, I'm going to play you. That's just the way it goes. So it gets back to I love when you said time is a myth. So two different ways that you come at it. I go the Arnold Schwarzenegger quote, which when we had it as a short did really really well. But basically it Arnold was like, I think, how many hours do you sleep? He's like, well, some people like 8 hours, some people like 6 hours, some people like 5 hours, some like 9 hours, and Arnold's like, well, I don't prescribe to that. He's like, well, I need 8 hours of sleep. And Arnold said, well, then sleep faster. I love that. And then Rowan was talking to somebody, and they talked about time. And the guy's like, I just need more time. And Rowan's like, well, give up. Because there is no more time. You can't create more than 24 hours a day. Like, might as well just pack it in and call it quits because there's no more time. Yeah. Right? I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. So
Love that.
Yeah, I do too. Like, it's great. So you can use this in golf, and you can use this in life. And like we just discussed, we're both firm believers in, like, you have to seize the day and add value. Like I'd like to use my own personal example. Like what I'm dealing with right now in my own personal life is I don't tell me. And I said this at my mom's funeral. I said, don't tell me that I can't do something. Tell me what I have to do to be able to get there. And if you continue with that kind of mindset, anything is possible. So thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, carpe diem, seize the day, save the day.
Save time.
Save the day.
Bank time. You can't do that, but it's like, wish you could. That'd be great.
No, I mean, you can't let someone tell you what you can and can't do. And, again, people would have told Brandon that he can't do it. And there goes the light.
Yeah, the light goes weird
The
sometimes.
light. Let there be light.
And there was.
But...
Going a little biblical this morning.
I guess so. No, like, people would tell Brandon that he couldn't do it, that he wasn't good enough, and this and that, and sure enough, he did it. And I think he's prime example of don't tell me what I can and can't do.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to go and do it with a mindset like, I'm just gonna give it a shot, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna learn from it either way. And I think that's a better mindset to go into stuff with, instead of, well, so-and-so said I can't do it, so, why even try?
Right.
Well, now you just didn't do it anyway, so congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, your brother, you're so right. I mean, I was thinking, like, the Brandon Wands, and then before him, Brian Mason. And then even Q4. He came as a very talented player and then got beat up for a starting spot. And he came to me, what do I have to do to be a starter? And he showed up like every Tuesday, Thursday for like months to work on his, because he had a little bit of an over top move. And he it's like Gary Player, right? The harder I work, the luckier I get. Yeah, for sure. So if we're going to talk about summarizing, if you're going to change one thing in being successful, the number one thing is change yourself. You can't look to be externally validated. You can't look blame your circumstances in life. You have to look at yourself and honestly, like Rowan said, make some goals. Like write them down anyway. And I know writing goals down, some people say it doesn't work for them, but like at least it gives you a starting point on working on yourself. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's I think, summarize today. Write your goals down. Look at where you are honestly as a person. And rather than blaming what's going on around you, the weather, the time, the government.
Don't blame the government.
I know, right?
Don't do that.
I know, but
don't
people
be
do.
That person. I know people do. Don't do that.
All right. Well,
and the weather, just play in the rain. It's all good.
Find a simulator.
So what? You get a little wet.
Big Swing has a simulator, man. Let's go.
You just got a free shower.
Yeah, there you go. And Big Swing has a simulator. Yeah, I mean that's as I always told you guys when you played for me, we won that one championship that one year. championships are not won on sunny days, right? If you truly want to be great, then or look at David Goggins. Watch that guy's stuff, man. That guy, like the hurricane warning, he's like, I'm gonna go out running, like I mean, crazy. But that's you know what? Look how that guy's done. Absolutely awesome. Went from 300 something pounds to being a Navy SEAL, like and like they run those whatever the multi, what do they call them? The marathons are like a long.
I have no idea because I don't plan on running one.
Yeah, no doubt. The only time I run nowadays is when someone's chasing me. But he did like 7 of those in 9 weeks. Like some people train like all year for just one. It's crazy. So yeah. Anyway, as always, if you get something out of this podcast. Oh, by the way, thank you, Jamie Slonis, last week. View-wise, that podcast did very, very well. So we appreciate you. And we're having Adam Bracey on next week. He is not here today, although he's supposed to be, because he's attending the parade.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I know, right?
Absolute.
I didn't know
The
the Mummers.
parade-
I didn't know the Mummers parade was this time of year.
The parade?
What?
Who cares about the parade?
I guess.
This is ridiculous.
But I
This is
didn't realize the
absolutely
Mummers were
ridiculous.
this time of year. Did you?
This
Everyone
is-
keeps talking about the parade. I don't know what they're talking about.
I don't know either. I've never seen one actually.
I sorry. So Richie's a Cowboys fan, so just pause for a moment of silence. Anyway, if you're one of the first 10 people to mention I love the breakfast ball and we draw you out of the hat, you will get a Starbucks gift card. So by all means, please do that. Did I forget anything today? We're good to go.
I blame Eagles fans.
Yeah,
for
right.
everything.
I know.
I blame them for everything.
Actually,
Actually,
but blame
I
them.
want to scrap this whole podcast and just blame Eagles fans.
I'm
Eagles fans
blaming
for
the Giants
government.
front office
I'm
at
gonna
this
blame
point.
Eagles fans for the weather. I'm going to blame Eagles fans for everything.
I
will not blame myself.
Yes.
I will blame Eagles fans. Anyway, you guys have a great day.
Yes.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Glass of bourbon, ha ha. My bourbon, ha ha. My bourbon, ha ha. Alcohol. Because no great story ever started with, I'll have a salad.